I think, and I'd be interested to know your thoughts on this, Rob, where HR is how they're going to manage this, because all my colleagues and friends are receiving 8,000 perfectly crafted statements and application forms and they're using AI to assess the 8,000, and then they're interviewing four people who can barely speak. Like, this isn't working, right? So I wonder how that's going to level out, because I'm not sure how sustainable that is.
I think it's following a similar path to what we talked about, where we're in the early stages. There's the exuberance and there's the experimentation, right? And I think we're going to find some things don't work really well, right? So I've seen, for example, more video-based interviewing happening now, which
Yeah.
I think could be a positive thing. Passive interviews, video interviews, right, where you're prompted and asked a few questions, and you have to respond on video. So great, I can sort out that you can speak, you can engage with some technology, and I sort of get to know you at least remotely. I still think the danger of that is we have AI sifting through that and deciding whether or not Ruth or Rob are the right person for the job, and there seems to be something missing there, because sometimes it's, on equal qualifications level, there might be more to, and or a spark. I like this person's attitude. I like our engagement. I really connected with them. They're more like me, or they're not at all like me. And that's exactly what I need, right? I
Yeah.
worry that, on the HR side, we may miss some of that, and we may need to learn a few lessons to really figure out what the right balance is there. I
Yeah.
see lots of it in my world is around workplace learning, and you see lots of it there as well, where, what do learning and development functions even look like in the future?
Yeah.
If you've got generative AI and you can ask any question, do you really even need to have a training function? Because I can say, give me the 5 steps for whatever right now and probably get the answer.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to be a very interesting piece. And that's where, like, the source of this whole conversation around the dialogue between, so what are we doing about human interaction? Because we're spending an awful lot of time and energy right now teaching people how to prompt, or understanding the boundaries and limitations of AI, and developing agents, I guess, will be the next wave, right? When really the value of human interaction is still going to be super important. Especially if you have a customer-facing organization, the Tesco's or Walmart's or whatever's of the world, will still have a huge component of human interaction that's going to be necessary. And those skills need to be built. People need to learn those things. And you're probably not necessarily going to get that from a chatbot.